Now, do you guys remember that letter to Mac Miller by Goldlink that was posted on social media that essentially got him canceled and blackballed? I was having a little conversation with a friend of mine about it the other day, kind of looking back on it. After that conversation, I realized that I actually never made a video on it when it happened. I know, it's been 2 years, but hey, I guess better late than never. Anyway, let's talk about it. Now, a lot of you guys out there are probably familiar with the name Goldlink. Goldlink is a 28-year-old rapper out of Washington, D.C. He's been in the game for a couple years. He was on a XXL cover a few years back. He also has a couple big records under his belt. The biggest one being Crew with Brent Faiyaz and Shy Glizzy. That's a banger for sure. That aside, let's talk about the topic at hand. A lot of people already know about this entire situation since it happened over 2 years ago. Despite that it happened in 2019, this has still consistently been brought up whenever Goldlink comes up in a conversation. Now, back in November 2019, the 27th of November to be specific, Goldlink put up a post on his Instagram that changed the entire trajectory of his career. The post, which I'm going to show you in just a second, was an open letter to the late great Mac Miller, who at the time had passed away over a year ago. Goldlink started off the post by saying, "Mac Miller, I'd be lying if I said I was surprised to hear that you died on us. Not because you were necessarily troubled, but because you were special, and because of that you were troubled. At your peak, you were the archetypal rapper all of us wanted to be, which was independent, but also just a kid with really bright eyes about life. I'll keep it short because I want to continue our conversation for when it's time to go, but I think that made you and I special, that we weren't always on the best terms. So I didn't always have great things to say about you," Goldlink said. "When we were on a Good AM tour, I played you my album, and after that we didn't talk." That's the title of the album, and you thought it was absolutely incredible. I released it under the Selection label, and the single for my album was called Unique, featuring Anderson .Paak, and that was your favorite song at the time. You loved it so much that you made the entire tour party listen to it and surprised me with a cake after my set. I always thought you drove yourself insane about your own music, so much that you would adopt styles as homage to those around you that you loved. That's where our problems started. Divine Feminine was an actual blueprint of And After That We Didn't Talk. Your single was called Dang, featuring Anderson .Paak. You had Selection support on the Divine Feminine tour, and when I tried to contact you about anything at all, you never hit me. A close mutual friend ended up just hitting my DJ saying, "Listen man, we love Link, but we just had to do what we had to do." And Max said if he needs a verse at any time, he got him. We are family, you could always call me. Afterwards, we seen each other at Coachella, and you put your head down like an innocent child, but I told you to pick it up, and I hugged you like the brother you are to me. You were the first person brave enough to openly say, "He's dope," and gave me a platform that meant more to me than anything else. Goldlink ended the post by saying, 3 days before you died, I remember pulling up on you at the crib, walking in the house and seeing the Divine Feminine album plaque on a wall. I was so proud of you and what you created for yourself, and I'm forever grateful for that. Now, I'm not sure what the real intention of that post was, but it obviously didn't do whatever Goldlink wanted it to do. Around a day or so later after putting up this post, Goldlink started trending on social media. Everyone, and I mean everyone, was coming for Goldlink's head as a result of this post. One of those people was Anderson .Paak, who of course was a really good friend of the late Mac Miller. Anderson .Paak put up an Instagram post as a response to Goldlink's letter, and this is what he said. He started off by saying, "At Goldlink, I would imagine your weird ass posted up somewhere just like this when you decide to make that disrespectful, narcissistic, jealous, grossly unnecessary post. Why would you do it? I can't even understand it. Maybe your belt was wrapped around your goddamn waist too tight, or maybe it was the choker cutting off the circulation off to the brain. But since you felt it necessary to bring me up twice, and my boy, I ain't here to respond, I'ma say it like this." He continued by saying, "You ain't the first to make an album inspired by a relationship. You ain't the first to make a song featuring Anderson .Paak, but you are the first person to disrespect my friend who is no longer here for absolutely no reason, and I can't stand for that. I'm not a tough guy, I'm not about the negativity, but this bugged me bad, bro. I've called you and I've DM'd you and you haven't responded. So since this is what you like to do in order to get attention, we can do it like this. You're not surprised, huh? Well, I'm in disbelief. If Divine Feminine was such a blueprint of your record, then tell me where the plaques are for whatever your shit was called. Mac brought your ass on tour and opened up his fanbase to you when you had nothing, and this is the type of appreciation you give? You should have just been grateful for the opportunity. Whatever issues you had with Mac should have been addressed in person and ended there. What's the point of bringing this up after his passing and disrespecting his name? You really woke up feeling like that was the move? That ain't how you go about promoting whatever you got coming. Some things simply have nothing to do with you, but when you have a God complex, I'm sure it's easy to think everything comes from you or was inspired in some way. Whatever it is, I ain't giving it no more energy. I pray you get back to the music and spreading good energy. I'ma do the same. He ended the post by saying, Mac Miller forever, loved his family, and y'all have a blessed one. Now Paak said, I got murder on my mind, I got murder on my mind. On the real though, Paak said what everybody was thinking. Goldlink's post was beyond unnecessary. It had a very bittersweet tone to it. Whatever picture Goldlink was trying to paint just made him look extremely bad. This is the kind of post that even if Mac Miller was alive to read it, it would have still made Goldlink look some type of way. Obviously with Mac Miller being gone, it made his open letter look so much worse. If we take a look at some of the things Goldlink said on that post though, starting with the opening statement, I'd be lying if I said I was surprised to hear that you died on us. A sentence that just makes you literally scratch your head a little. I mean, why would you even say something like that? I get that it's an open letter, so you're supposed to speak openly about your feelings, but I think Goldlink set himself up to fail from the get-go by starting, this letter off with that. A lot of people read that first sentence and they just weren't having it, rightfully so. The beginning was just the cherry on top though, because this entire post that essentially ruined Goldlink's career screamed, I just can't let the past go, so much to the point where I have to put this post out. On one part of the letter, Goldlink spoke about playing Mac Miller his album while they were on tour together. He said that Mac Miller loved his album so much to the point where he made the entire tour party listen to it, and on top of that, he surprised him with a cake after he got done performing. This brings us to the next part of the open letter where Goldlink made some very bold claims. Mac Miller's The Divine Feminine project was apparently a copy of one of his albums, Goldlink claimed. He brought up a couple things on a post that was supposed to serve as quote-unquote proof. Goldlink, according to him, tried contacting Mac Miller regarding this. He didn't get a response. A close friend of Mac Miller allegedly hit up Goldlink's DJ saying, listen man, we love Goldlink, but we just had to do what we had to do. On the last part of the open letter, Goldlink recalls seeing Mac Miller at Coachella. Mac Miller, according to Goldlink, put his head down, in Goldlink's words, like an innocent child. He walked up to him, told him to pick his head up and hug Mac. 3 days before Mac Miller passed, Goldlink pulled up to his house, saw the Divine Feminine plaque on a wall, and Goldlink was, like he said, so proud of what Mac Miller had created for himself, and that's where that ends. The biggest problem with Goldlink's letter was number one, putting it out in the first place. This goes without saying, but I guess I have to say it. Some things just shouldn't get posted on the internet, okay? This open letter definitely being one of those things. This post single-handedly ruined Goldlink's career, that is for sure. What was the aim here though? Why would Goldlink even put this out? As far as I can see it, this was mostly fueled by him wanting to get credit for what he thinks Mac Miller stole from him. The issue with that is, number one, it's not entirely obvious that Mac even did steal anything from him. Just analyzing what he said, it appears like he was grasping at straws. I guess what this open letter by Goldlink taught me is, if you don't have anything good to say, do not say it at all. But yeah, Goldlink, his open letter to Mac Miller, and how that one post essentially blackballed him. Any thoughts on this? Definitely let me know in the comment section below, and let's have a discussion about this.